The Dallas Mavericks annihilate the Boston Celtics to dominate Game 4, Game 5 tonight at 7:30, and Luka ends up with 29 points, 12 of 26 from the field, 0 of 8 from 3, only 1 turnover, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
I don't think anybody thought 0 of 8 from 3 they're going to win that game.
Right.
No. I wouldn't think so.
One of his last 15. 1 of 15 on his home court. In games 3 and 4 on his home court,
yes,
he went 1 of 15.
And most importantly, to me, 0 complaining. A totally different person. And the guy who deserves the credit for Luka, and besides Luka, the second most credit goes to Brian Windhorst. I know that's going to trigger you. I know that's going to get me cursed out on Twitch right now.
Is he not well liked?
He's not well liked right now.
He started criticizing the Prince. They don't like when you talk bad about the Prince.
Oh, this big overweight guy is going to talk to me about leadership. One of the laziest, dumbest fan takes.
One overweight guy talking about another overweight guy.
The worst thing with me with the Windhorst criticism is people think that he doesn't do anything other than LeBron stuff. It's
LeBron lackey.
That is so old. Like he is not.
It's like Bobby at NFL Network.
Right. He has not been LeBron's boy in 15 years. Windhorst says I don't even talk anymore. LeBron's completely gone beyond him.
He is fantastic. He's measured too. That's why it stood out, is because he is even and pretty sober with all of his thinking. So for him to go off like that, it made waves for a reason.
It totally made waves. Luka's like, I don't really pay attention. I didn't hear it. Bull. Total, complete bull, because he was a totally different person. It's like after you put your kid in timeout, the next 5 or 10 minutes, they're an absolute angel. Brian Windhorst, you called him out before Game 4. Are you going to give him his flowers after it?
Obviously, he played a brilliant game. It was exactly the kind of performance they needed from their leader. He's the best player in the series. He was the best player on the floor tonight. You know, what I said because of the delivery was something that went viral. But what I said wasn't controversial. People here in Dallas, if they were being honest, would agree. People with the Mavericks, if they were being honest, would agree. Now, obviously, publicly, especially if you're a fan of Luka, you're going to come out for your guy. Of course you are. Of course you're going to defend your guy. Of course Jason Kidd is going to defend his guy. But nothing that I said is anything that Luka hadn't heard before. And that's why it was frustrating, because he had heard it before. And when the stakes were so big, he allowed it to happen again. And so he did put his foot in the ground today and make sure it stopped. But that issue that he had to fight back in Game 3, it will come again in his career. Whether it's going to happen in this series or not, I don't know. And what you want to see is him to handle it in an appropriate manner that will allow him to be on the winning side in a game like that.
He's just throwing bullseyes. That's it. Like, I can't pick apart anything that he's saying. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. And when he's talking about people within the Mavs being honest, I think, this is Shan talking, I think that he's addressing Jason Kidd pregame, before Game 4, when Kidd tried to lecture the media on their Luka treatment.
Everybody has a right to their opinion. It's just, sometimes we might take it a little bit too far, right? And understanding, if you put yourself in that person's shoes, could you stand up to the barbecue, right? Sometimes we want to fry someone, but if you reversed it and it was you being fried, would you like it? Most likely not, right? That's just the nature of the business. But this young man has done nothing to anyone but play the game of basketball. And when he's asked a question, he's never run from it. He's answered it. And he's 25 years old. And, and I think that's what I'm more disappointed in, is that we're at the highest stage where we have one of the best players in the world playing the game the right way, but we want to criticize some of the things that he does not do well. But when he does do them well, we're going to come back and want to talk to him. And then when he says, no, I'm a pass, then what happens?
Jason Kidd should be sending Brian Windhorst a gift basket. Jason Kidd should have 3 bottles of Camus sent to the press seating area for Brian Windhorst, instead of coming up with this high and mighty lecture, because Brian Windhorst led the charge to kick Luka's ass publicly and in the press and the media. I believe it was a humongous factor in him shaping up for Game 4, and Jason Kidd owes, and Mavs fans owe Brian Windhorst a thank you.
Kidd's press conference personality has become my least favorite individual in Dallas. It's just...
What do you want to say? He's not going to say he was right. He's a crybaby. He's not going to say that.
He doesn't need to say that.
But I would temper back, like, going at the criticism or what was said.
There was about 5 things there that I think he said that were sideways. You don't need the comparison of, well, how would it make you feel if somebody's talking about you that way? That's not a good enough reason not to do it.
Yeah.
To say he's playing the game the right way, he absolutely did not play the game the right way in the fourth quarter of that game, in the biggest game, the biggest moment of his career. That's an awful opinion. For it to be like,
he's
well,
25.
What are you going to do when you come back around and want to talk to him and he doesn't want to talk to him? That can't be a reason not to criticize somebody either.
Yeah.
And then for him you throw out the 25 thing like you just mentioned there. Well, okay, at the same time, Jason, you can't talk to me about how he's been playing pro ball since he was 13 years old. He's such a man. He's been around this for 12 years. You can't have it both ways. Kidd is just... And he's playing the game. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Because Jason Kidd is incredibly smart.
No coach is going to publicly say their players are crybabies.
No, but he doesn't...
He went further than he had to.
He went further than he had to.
Yeah, but isn't that what you coaches today are people managers, right?
Yeah.
He can't.
He's winning Luka over with that.
He's winning Luka over. That's all he's trying to do. I got no problem with him saying that because, quite frankly,
I don't have a huge problem. I'm not saying he should not have done it.
Right.
I'm just saying the fact of the matter is what Brian Windhorst did, and maybe it wasn't just Windhorst. Maybe I'll try to give the Mavs credit behind the scenes, even though they haven't fixed it for his entire career. Maybe they flipped the switch with him and was like, cut it out. I don't want to see this anymore for the remainder of the series. Maybe they did.
Yeah, it's
Windhorst was the loudest one. I'm not killing Jason Kidd for that.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, yo, man, Jason should behind the scenes appreciate the call outs because I think that's the way they want Luka to play and be.
I think he does. I think behind the scenes he does, and I think behind the scenes they probably are talking to him. Yeah, because this is a situation where it's like when coaches are up there talking about stuff like this, you tune them out. Like they're not speaking truth. They're not really talking in words. They're just throwing quotes up there and sound bites. That's for us. That's window dressing.
Yeah, but this would be like McCarthy standing up and lecturing everyone to stop picking on Micah. I would roll my eyes. That's a joke. Like we're doing you a favor because Mike McCarthy's not happy that Micah Parsons didn't show up to practice. Now he's going to go and defend his player and win Micah over, but don't. It's like I always tell team website people. I understand you got a job to do. You cannot kill the team. You're working for the team. Don't attack us, though, because we have the freedom, the leeway, the ability to say negative things. I'm not going to cross over and invade your space with it. Don't come at us, because then I'm going to call you out. And I will talk about things you said behind the scenes that are ugly about the team that you can't or won't say publicly over 100,000 watts. That's how I feel about it. If Mike McCarthy got up and started lecturing, you guys are picking on him, you're this or that. Yo, man, don't take it too far because you know deep down you can't control Micah. I'm not talking this specific. I don't know if Mike McCarthy can control him or not. You don't have a handle on the situation. We're trying to do it for you. You should appreciate it. And Brian Windhorst also followed up. This cannot get lost. This cannot get lost here. Yes, it was nice for Game 4. Well, we can never forget about Game 3.
It is a terrific performance by him, but we will never know what would have happened if he hadn't allowed himself to be taken out of the game, because it could be 2-2. I think it's dangerous to make assumptions in playoff series. Well, if this happened, then that would happen. We have no idea how tonight would have gone. But if he hadn't have fouled out of that game, I felt like the Mavericks would have won Game 3. And him taking himself out of the game was really hurtful. And so now he is beginning the long trek back to making up for that. It's going to go beyond tonight and probably even beyond this playoff series.
And I just want to say it one more time. I give Luka all the credit in the world for the way he changed in Game 4.
Absolutely.
It was a joy. It was a treat to watch. He did it. But it's probably too little, too late in
the series for the sake of the series, for sure.
For the sake of the series. Yeah. And we can't forget that. 4 minutes left. I blame Kyrie for Game 2 and Luka. I'm not saying that they would have won, but I know they weren't going to win when Luka got taken out of Game 3 with 4 minutes left.
Yeah, and you can't appreciate the greatness of Game 4 without the context of Game 3 and what he did.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. You can't separate them. That's part of what made it as impressive as it was is, he showed maturity and flipped the switch and took it the right way and went, okay, you know what? I need to make adjustments.
And let me play a clip that melted me to love this guy even more. Derek Lively told Luka something before game 4. A 20-year-old rookie kid just asked Luka and tried to instruct him to approach things this way with the refs.
Only thing I told him is just, look, going out there, first 2 times you get fouled, just don't say nothing to the refs. That's all I got. Just please don't do that, and I'm going to make sure you're going to get open. I'll make sure you're going to be comfortable on the offensive end and the defensive end. So just knowing that whenever he's going out there playing a defensive and he's locked in on defense, it just makes everything fall into place better on the offensive end.
Are you kidding me?
He may be my favorite personality in Dallas right now.
He told Luka, here's my rule. Because I was trying to come up with some ideas and rules on Friday, like do the Kobe protest game. Don't say one thing to a referee about the entire game. Jason Kidd fining him in the film review for complaining about calls that were actually legitimate calls that should not have been whistled. And there's Derek Lively saying, just don't do it for the first 2 and let's go from there. Blown away. I'm blown away.
And then what? He didn't get his 3rd foul till like right near the end of his time on the court. So he kept his promise. He only got those 2 fouls. Maybe if he would have gotten 5 fouls, he would have started complaining because he would have been on fouls 3, 4, 5 at that point. But Derek Lively is about the most mature, level-headed 20-year-old athlete I've ever seen.
We have to give credit to Duke.
Sure. Sure. Duke. Upbringing. Like a lot of it has.
Upbringing for sure.
Yes.
That dude has been through a ton.